Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Graditam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshini Bhagavati Ashtadashadhyayini Amba Tvamanusandadhami Bhagavad Gita Bhavadveshini Namostute Vyasa Vishala Buddhe Mullaravindayata Patranetra Yena Tvaya Bharatatailapurna Prajvalito Jnanamaya Pradipaha Prapanna Parijataya Stotra Vitraikapanaye Jnanamudraya Krishnaya Gitamritaguhe Namaha Sarvopanishado Gavo Shodha Gopalanandanaha Partho Vatsasudin Bhota Dudham Gitamritam Mahat Vasudeva Sutam Devam Tam Sachanuramardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Hari Om. Okay. Thank you very much, everyone, for that warm welcome and a hearty welcome to everyone to tonight's satsang on Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18. The last chapter of Bhagavad Gita, as we are coming down to the end of this 108 nights. And it so happened that West Coast Demerara got chapter 18 of Bhagavad Gita, which is a summary. And it also includes so many practical aspects. It is the longest chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and tonight the section that has come is a summary of the highest practice in spirituality, the final practices that somebody does. And it is important for us to know, finally one day, where will this Hinduism take us? What are we going to have to do? It's good to know what the last step of the journey will be, you know? Like, suppose you're a young student and you want to pursue cricket. Well, you have to know what the big leagues are. Right? And good to watch the big people play also. And then, so they act, you just start to, children know this. They start a hairstyle, you know. Whatever hairstyle my favorite cricketer has, I start that. Because they feel that they move up closer to the big leagues now, right? So in the same way, the scriptures say, Siddhakasya lakshanani sadhakasya sadhanani. So whatever the great, those who have reached the goal, or almost there, practicing the final steps, whatever they do, all the people on the path, they look to that and they follow. Because you know one day I'll have to do it, I might as well start now, whatever I can. Right? It's like that in all fields. Right. So now we get to see Bhagavan just finished his third summary of Karma Yoga in this chapter. Karma Yoga word you've heard? If you've heard the word, raise your hand. If you've not heard the word, I understand, no problem. Karma Yoga it means that way of living your karma means action. That yoga means a spiritual practice that will move you up, join you with something greater, bring out your inner potential, connect you with something higher in yourself. Now, this is a very important idea in Hinduism. Please see this. Whatever greatness you have seen in any human being, whatever greatness you might appreciate in, suppose you say, Sachin Tendulkar or Shivnarayan Chandrabhaul, right? I see greatness in them, you might say. Or you might say Abraham Lincoln, Mandela, Mahatma Gandhi ji, Swami Vivekananda ji, Swami Chinmayanand ji. I see greatness. Wherever you see the greatness, do you know all that greatness that you see in any human heart also lies in your heart? Did you know that? It cannot be that if some human being is there and they can exhibit a great, wonderful, laudable quality, that you will have to now not be like them, because they're also a human being just like you. If you have one species of bird and it can chirp really well, that means everyone in that species can chirp like that. If this one's not chirping, some problem is there, not that it can't. Correct or not? So we should look to those who have achieved great things and feel inspired. Not, oh, someone else, look how much they can do, I'm so inferior, and we don't have anything like that. So yoga is the spiritual practice of connecting myself with my latent powers, my deepest greatness, bringing it out into the world. Specifically, spiritual greatness, which is the source for all greatness. Okay, so karma yoga is the way that you connect with your potential. The modern generation wants to bring out their potential. Let me ask you something. You feel like you reached your potential in life? Every person from the oldest man to the youngest man will say, nah, I not reached my potential. You still have potential to bring out or not? Or who says, well, yeah, this is it. This is the top of the mountain. From here it's just downhill. Anybody feel like that? Universal human feeling, I have some greatness still inside that has not come out, whatever it might be. Now, how to bring it out? Or you just have to wait till you meet somebody and some job and some situation and suddenly it'll come out? Or is there a way to bring it out? Like all things in the world, they evolve, they mature, they unfold, right? A bud might be there on the hibiscus, and when you look at it, green it looks. You cannot tell that it's going to open itself and become a beautiful flower. It's there, and before the bud is there, you just have the leaf and the branch. When you look at the branch, you can see that it has flower inside. But does it? It has. And nature has a way of teasing and whispering and singing to that flower so that it unfolds, right? Now, there is a way to get that human mind and heart to unfold. There's a science to it, just like there's a science to bring out greatness in gardening or anything else. What is that science? You're not going to learn it in school. You have any class like that in school? A class but the textbook is dedicated to you bringing out your inner potential, becoming more saintly, more kind, more wise, more powerful. Any classes there? What is the exam? When you entered this, you should have been at 0.5 saintliness. And when you leave, you must be at 1.5 saintliness. And if you don't reach that, you fail. There's no such thing. But, so that is why we have school is one institution, and Mandir is another separate institution with its own job. What is the job when you come here? The job is, this whole setup is there to bring out your greatness. If you didn't know that was what Hinduism is about, that is what you're learning in Bhagavad Gita. All what we do here falls within the umbrella of some yoga. It falls within the umbrella of some process of human development. And that process of human development, which is all about using your duties in life to change, facing your ordinary work and growing out of it, that is called karma yoga. When the person grows through that, they finally reach a certain stage. And that stage is called pure mind. In one simple phrase. What is karma yoga supposed to deliver to you? A pure mind. What is a pure mind? A pure mind is not agitated, and a pure mind is not agitatable also. Agitatable is not a real word, but I hope you caught the meaning. You can't get it to be agitated, and right now is also not agitated. And recently I've been just thinking so much about Bhagavan Sri Ram's mind, which you see coming through on his face whenever they have the murti. Prasannatam ya nagatabhishekataha tatha namamle vanavasa dukkhataha mukhambuja shri raghunandanasya me sadastu samanjula mangala prada. Tulsidas writes a wonderful shloka there, bowing down to the prasannata, the cheerful, blissful, unaffected smile of Sri Ram. He's bowing it down to that quality in the Lord. May it bless me with cheerfulness and fullness of mind also. That smile which didn't go down at all when he was told, you have to go to the forest for 14 years. And I, your mother, who you consider like a birth mother, I myself am sending you and putting your other brother on the throne, Bharat. He didn't think, well, you couldn't just keep me on the side, why you have to send me away? Didn't think that, his smile didn't go down. And the night before, when he was told he was going to be coronated, his smile didn't go up. Oh yeah, now finally I'll be king. So the idea is that mind is pure, which can't be disturbed. He knows so many things, and he's practiced his duty so well that it has gone inside. Then that's not the end though. There's a next stage to sadhana, what I refer to as the big leagues, but that is not such a nice way, because karma yoga itself is big leagues, right? But there's finally a stage when a person has to use that mind to get closer to God. Use that mind to remove the separation with God. The journey in spirituality finally is going to be done by your mind. It's not going to be done with your hands. The journey is not going to be finished. Okay, one day I'll offer all beautiful samagri and I'll reach my goal in life. Whatever, no. It's going to be done how? With the mind. So you haven't found a human civilization in history that has spent more time on the mind than Hinduism. You take all the other religions and you add up all the sadhanas they have, and it still won't add up to what amount of time and energy and scriptures and science and practices there is in Hinduism dedicated to the mind, dedicated to removing negativities. We got caught up on that topic. Other people get caught up on other things and they make their religion about that. Ours is about removing negativities. Even that word Hindu, some great saints and sages says it's Hinam Dushayati. Meaning causal. It is meant for removing any Hinam, negativities from the mind. Who's a Hindu? That person whose life is about removing inner negativities and outer negativities both. Wherever there's any undesirable quality in my heart or in society, my life is dedicated to removing that. If you fall somewhere in that spectrum, you're a Hindu. You don't have to come to Mandir necessarily. You can still be a Hindu. In fact, this might sound a little strange and controversial, but from the view of a Hindu, you could very well be of another religion. And we would say, yeah, you fall within the umbrella of dharma. You have a place also. Because you fall somewhere in the spectrum of removing negativities. You see? Anyways, Karma yoga is for purity of mind. And at some stage now, you have to use that mind to get closer to God, and that is called Jnana yoga. What is that? The yoga, the spiritual practice about bringing out my potential through knowledge. Okay, so now the next 5 verses from verse 50 to 54. These 5 verses, including 50, is all about that. Bhagavan is going to summarize chapter 6 of Bhagavad Gita, which was all about meditation. So in one satsang, you should get a whole chapter. Meditation, which is using the mind to get closer to God. Let us see what he says. So I will chant the verse best I can with this harmonium, and you please chant in chorus the name of the Lord. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Very simple thing to say. And please know this, whoever chants, definitely that person gets good karma. And the person who listens and watches other people chant, all that happens is they watch other people go to the bank and put in good karma. You're not putting in any great karma by watching someone else chant. So why sit here and watch me and Pandit Avishkar ji and Jeena ji watch us chant the name of the... You want to watch people go to the bank? You want to put it in the bank also, so we all chant together, right? Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Everyone. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Siddhim prapto yatha brahma tatapnoti. Siddhim prapto yatha brahma tatapnoti bodhame. Samase naiva kaunteya nishta jnanasya yapara. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Siddhim praptaha, having attained purity of mind, he whose mind is cheerful, dedicated to their work, dedicating it to the Lord, free of anxiety, so many things. He, which is the first basic preparation now for this great advanced science of meditation, he who has reached that, Nibodha me, you learn from me, O Arjuna, Shri Krishna says, Arjuna, and in everyone in Best Village. Now listen to this. How a person goes from that and reaches God. You've reached the preparatory stage. You got into university. You're in. Now how you go from there to the final stage. Yatha Brahma tatha apnoti. And I'm going to tell you samasena. I'm going to tell you briefly. Because I just told in chapter 6 the whole thing. Now I'll just tell in 5 verses. That is also nishtha jnanasya ya para. It is that which is the supreme, final, culminating, highest state, the para nishtha of wisdom. Means it is the greatest wisdom and it causes the greatest result. They have nice words. It's the acme of knowledge. Acme, I only knew that word from Looney Tunes, you know? You know Acme? They just make all kind of dynamite for the Roadrunner. Then I found out Acme means the highest of all things, right? The highest point now you want to reach in life, in knowledge, in spirituality. There's a wonderful story of Puja Swami Chinmayananji, who in every breath, in every action, he was teaching the truth, the wisdom of life. And there was a bunch of youth who had gone, this is in Hong Kong. Puja Gurudev traveled the whole world for 40 years, non-stop action. I mean, sleeping 4 hours a day, documented, because at night there would be someone working with him, serving him. And then in the morning, 3 a.m., there'll have to be someone else ready. Because Gurudev, if you want to talk about karma yoga and doing your work each moment as a dedication that, you know, this world is the temple and every act I do is the flower that I offer. That type of attitude. That is what a karma yoga yogi thinks. You want to see that in action, you hear stories or hear about it of Swami Chinmayananji and just the way he lived his life. 3 a.m. in the morning, every morning for hours on end, writing handwritten letters to those who he has met in his travels all over the world. Certainly somebody would have written a letter here from the Caribbean and mailed it to the next destination in his itinerary, or in India. Then that letter finally would have been picked up by somebody, brought to him, and everywhere he goes, he's got letters for people all over. Like, you know how in the morning you start to WhatsApp? This person, this person, this person, this person, and you also make a spelling mistake and you message the wrong person and this and that. Well, every morning Gurudev would write, a little child would send, Gurudev, I met you in Best Village, because Gurudev came to Guyana, right? Many times we don't know that these things happen, but he was there in New Amsterdam. I've seen pictures. So, I met you in New Amsterdam. Today is my birthday, and I just wanted to say Hari Om, and here's a drawing, right? So this is the picture. Now Gurudev responds to that. And I've seen drawings, so Gurudev says, okay, beta, when you do Aarti, when you see this is how you're supposed to do Aarti, and he'll draw dot, 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 and a little sketch. This is how you make an Om shape with your Aarti next time. And he teaches the child that, and he puts a little cartoon and a riddle. Then the next letter, some big ambassador has a problem with this big issue, and he's writing to Gurudev for advice. Then he gives advice to that person based on scriptures. And like that every morning for over 40 years. And then does all before 7 a.m. Then 7 a.m. traveling the world, giving talks, this, that, books like anything, institutions growing up around him, non-stop work. And those who help with the letters tell again and again, if you put the stamp on the letter a little twist, Gurudev wasn't happy with that. You have to redo it. Means to say doing so much and every little action is still an offering to the Lord. Like that. So, like that, one time Gurudev was in Hong Kong and there was a youth camp, and then there was a big high mountain in Hong Kong, and a bunch of youth said, let me go there and we meditate together. Well, I don't know what they were doing, but they think they're meditating, sitting there on a rock at the highest point there in Hong Kong. And they came back and said, Swamiji, Gurudev, we went for meditation. And Gurudev instantly responded. What is that? Don't go to the peak to meditate. In meditation, you reach the peak. Instantly. And that one phrase changed the minds of some students that did now become Swamijis in the mission. So he imbibed the wisdom in every pore it was coming out. Any little situation, any child, he could tell. How you reach that level, that knowledge is spontaneous in you. It's this now. This type of meditation is how you reach, right? And that tells us we are reaching now the paranishtha of Jnana. Now, let me tell you a little bit about before meditation. There are two other steps in this spirituality of knowledge. And what you're doing right now is step number 1. Congratulations. Listening is the first step. Gathering the knowledge from someone who belongs to a tradition, who's teaching it systematically like that. You learn properly from somebody, and then that knowledge removes all kind of doubts. It gives you so much ideas that you did not have. It removes all the confusions and sadness born of ignorance. It's called Shravanam, the first step. Consistent, systematic study. You may not know this, but that is a big, big, big part of Hinduism. Big, big part. Like, imagine there is a group of people who take cricket, but they don't know how cricket's supposed to be played. So they have ball and they have wicket, but they don't have bat. That got lost over the years. So they make up a next kind of game. And it's very close to bowling and they're running and everything's right, but they don't have bat. They're missing a big part now. We missed out so many things when we traveled over the Kalapani. So it didn't get lost, but it doesn't get its appreciation for its importance. Listening in our tradition is a fundamental step that you can't skip. And systematic listening means I'm going to sit and we're going to study one section of Ramayana. And in that section, I'm going to draw out what are the key lessons. And everywhere I go in life, whatever definition I learn for things, it should apply in the next katha. And systematically my knowledge grows. That is core Hinduism. Not like scraps and bits here, there. Although that's also good. Shravanam is a key step. Then you reflect on that, and doubts are removed. And once it's very clear in your mind what the scriptures want to say, finally now a person has to dwell on that thing. Stay with that thing. Make sure it becomes second nature to them. So when any crisis happens in life, that knowledge comes naturally to them. That last step of dwelling on things you have heard, replaying it in your mind again and again and again, that is called meditation. So if you don't record it, how are you going to replay it? Means if you didn't do any listening in the first place, what you're going to meditate on? You can still meditate, but you'll have to put the form of the Lord in front of you and meditate on His form. Or hear a story and remember the story. That's very good still. And it's a good preparation and requires the same sort of qualities in the human heart. But if you're going to do the final step, first you must gain knowledge. What will they meditate on? The rishis sit and say, I'm not this body. I was there before it came. I'll be there after it's gone. It's a temporary medium. I am the one who gives the body life. Give everybody life. I've always been here. I'm the source of all things. The way I'm making it sound, I feel like this person has it, is what you call. He thinks a lot of himself. He thinks he's source of all things. But something like that. They sit and they dwell on that knowledge. Like that. They remove their mortality that way. There's a wonderful example to understand. And you know it very well. This is to understand what this whole meditation is all about. When you put, one man got home from work, and he's a bit of a grumpy fellow when he comes home from work. And he does like his tea, and he likes his tea a certain way, with a certain amount of sugar and all that. It has to be like that. If it's not like that, well, he feel like he loses a part of his life. Such a big deal. So he comes home now, and the wife did as he requested. But when he took a sip, he said, you missed one of the 3 ingredients. Milk, tea leaves, and sugar. How you miss one ingredient? You weren't paying any attention. She said, I did not miss a single ingredient. So now fights start. Right? Well, of course, the wife is right, like usual, and the husband is wrong. What happened, From his point of view, when he tasted, he didn't taste any sugar. But she put. Now, how could that happen? You know, if you forget to stir that sugar and it sits at the bottom, it's like it has no sugar at all. Right? In the same way, when you get knowledge from scriptures, it goes inside, you have it with you, but unless you dwell on it and make it part of your personality, it doesn't show. You don't enjoy that knowledge. That has to be stirred so well that that sugar pervades every drop of that tea, isn't it? In the same way that knowledge has to pervade every thought in your mind. Any little knowledge you get from scriptures, you dwell on that, dwell on that, dwell on that, and then you make it part of your mind. And that's how the change happens. Right. And you wouldn't believe the knowledge that's there in scriptures. Everything we're looking for outside, the scriptures teaches it is inside. Many people seek security, especially when things go wrong. But did you know you are the source of security? Many people seek happiness. But did you know you're the source of happiness? Many people seek prosperity, but did you know you're the source of all prosperity? Now, I don't know what that means to you, but that is the conclusion the wise people in Hinduism come to. Right? We need to get, it is called nishtha. We need to have that knowledge be with us. Like, you might have money, but if you don't have liquid cash, they say. If you don't have liquid cash, you can't use it for anything. If it's in the bank or it's in an investment or in the house, it's like you don't have, isn't it? That's why on the balance sheet they make a difference between what is current and available and what is tied up somewhere. It will take some time to become current. Everywhere. Like that, my knowledge has to be liquid. Ready to use. Like, that's for the other accountants in the room. Okay. And so many examples are there for this thing. Now, Bhagavan is going to go into several verses about the final tweaks that are required that a person does in meditation. Because it is only with the mind that you're going to reach this goal. It's only with the mind you're going to dwell on it. So the mind has to be made very correct. You know, there's a phrase in Guyana, he mind na mek right. Now this is to make it right now. So how that is taught again, the same thing that was taught in chapter 6. Let us chant several verses. Buddhya vishuddhaya yuktaha dhrityatmanam niyamya cha Shabdadi vishayatya raga dvesha Raga desha vyudhasya cha Shri Krishna sharanam Vivikta sevi ragvashi yatavakaya manasaha Jnana yoga paranityam vairagyam samupashrita Ahankaram balam karpam kamam krodam parigraham Vimochya nirmama Shanto brahma Okay. Now, Bhagavan gives a list of various qualities and practices for all of us when we reach that stage. And things we should slowly engender now. Practice from now. Vishuddha buddhi. That person has what is called, we studied just now in chapter 18, a sattvic intellect. An intellect which is bright and sharp and has teeth. It can look at life situations and quickly analyze. Everybody right now is analyzing what just happened there in Tushen, correct? All day, everybody's analyzing. But who's coming to the right conclusion? Everybody just talk. But that intellect, using scriptures, can look at the situation and understand very well, oh, this is only with the same thing happening. This is an expression of that quality of mind. This is an expression of that quality of mind. That is going on here. This is why this is happening. And can understand where I fit in that whole picture, what I must do now as a member of Guyana, as a citizen, to contribute to the positive side. Quickly can understand. Their knowledge has teeth. That is called a sattvic buddhi. They have got, and in scriptures, what you have to know about, there's 3 J's. If you want to know what it is that you study in scriptures, it's a very simple thing. 3 J's you have to remember. You can say it with me. Jiva, that means you, the individual being. Jagat, say that please. Jagat, if you want to say it. And Jagadishvara, Jagad Ishvara. Easy words, two syllables. The last one has 3. Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara. Oh no, it has 5. Right? So, what do they mean? The individual Jiva, Jagat, this whole world, and Jagadishvara. Because right now we have all other types of ideas. Like about myself, I think I'm mortal. And in scriptures you will learn you're immortal, beginningless and endless. About this world, we feel like this world is the real thing and what I'm seeing is all just the way it is. But it's not true. This world there's so much more to it, and when you discover that, you find out what's going on here. It's not such a big deal. Do you know the science says this thing is 99.999% space, for instance? It's not a solid thing by any measure. But when I look at it, I think it's solid. So like that, there are so many illusory ideas about this world. And finally, we feel God is far away. But without the presence of the Lord, we would vanish into non-existence. Like He's there in every iota of our being. He holds all things together and gives intelligence to all things. So you learn all these things about Jiva, Jagat, Jagadishvara. That is what you learn. And then what happens? It's given there in the next verse. Dhyana yoga para. You become somebody who takes this meditation very seriously, very valuable. A little boy one day was sitting and looking at the sunset. And you know what he saw? And while he was sitting, he had his toy plane. Zoom, zoom, like that. And he saw in the sky, like all young children do, a plane go by and mesmerize. Wow, look at that thing flying in the sky. Right? Then, for some reason he remembered a question. You know, Dad, when I went to that camp, you know, sometimes they have spiritual camps and all the kids go. When I went to that camp, they were telling me all about God. They said, Bhagavan, He is all powerful. He's all pervasive. So many things they said. But you know what they said? So the dad is listening. What did they say? They say Bhagavan is more powerful than Superman. They said he's smarter than Einstein. Really? Yeah. You take all the Power Rangers and put him together, he's more powerful than that too, they said. Wow. And they say everywhere you look, he's there. So I'm trying to imagine, what does God look like? I can't put my mind on it. I can't figure out, what does God really look like, Dad? Now Dad in a predicament. He really don't know how to answer. So the dad was looking up at the sky for a few minutes also. And then he said he saw the plane. also. And he said, okay, come. I want you to come with me. We're going to go on a drive. So they hop in the car now. It's late, but they drive to the airport. And they see the same plane park up there. And the boy now is looking at the plane, first time he's seeing a plane. And the dad asks, how big was the plane in the sky? Dad, that plane, my thumb could cover that plane. Like that. My plane was so much bigger than that plane. My toy plane. He said, now look at this plane here. How big is that? He said, whoa. I can't even see the front. I'm at the back. It's so big I can't see the front even. It's amazing. And the dad said, well, this plane is that plane. The boy said, what? He said, yeah. And you tell me now, son, why is the plane big now and why was it small then? The boy said, no, that's because the plane was far away. So it's small. And when I come up close, it's so big. He said, right. He says, in the same way, son, when we are far away from Bhagavan, he looks small, he looks away from us, we can't understand what he is. But when you get close to him, then he appears big in your life. You can't get away from him. So if you ask me what God looks like, it depends how far away you are. And the idea is you get close, and you realize, blessed is that person who says, na come to Bhagavan and say, Bhagavan, look man, my problem's so big, help me now. Blessed is that person who turns to their problems and say, listen problems, you know how big my Bhagavan is? Be careful, don't come too close. My Bhagavan is bigger than you. That person has become closer to God. So, all of this is to say what? Dhyana para. For that person, meditation is the most significant, important thing in their life, because through that they get closer and closer to God, and God becomes more and more important in there. All pervasive, all powerful God becomes more important in their life. Like that. Oh, and you know very well, the mind only stays on the thing that it values. A scientist's mind, he can't spend time watching, Avengers and Marvel. He can't. That's all made up non-fiction. He wants to spend time on fiction. Real life things, right? And the person who does love comic books, well, he can't spend time looking at that botany page, biology. He only dreaming about Iron Man and these other things, right? Means what the mind loves, it stays on that. So through knowledge, you become one who loves this topic of the Lord, and then the mind get absorbed in that. Then what you get, next quality, let us see. Dhritya atmanam niyamya. With dhriti. Dhriti is another, so what's going on here? Bhagavan is listing a whole bunch of qualities of the mind. These are all things we need to develop. And it will stay with you all the way on your journey. One day you also, somewhere you will be sitting like a Mahatma, meditating on God. And how fast that comes depends on this life, how much time you spend developing these qualities in day-to-day life. Dhriti. Now, that boy and dad, the dad would go to satsang all the time. So he always had knowledge to tell his son when he asked questions. He wouldn't give him, hey, why don't you be quiet, you don't know it. He wouldn't do that. He would guide him. So, and next day, now, the dad had gone to a camp. And he learned something. He learned something in satsang. So he come home now one morning, Sunday morning after Monday, they're at home making nice thing in the kitchen and all that, right? And so he says, son, come, I want you to see something here. And in 3 different pots, he put 3 things. He put an aloo in the first one, he put an egg in the next one, and he put some coffee in the last one. 3 pots of hot boiling water. Tuck, tuck, tuck. Plop, plop, plop. I don't know what sound it makes, right? Then, he says, boy, watch this. And the boy look at it. After half hour, they come back. Boy, watch this thing again. What you learn from that? This is the way a dad teaches. What you learn from that? So now the boy frightened. He didn't know what to say. You listen to me. When I put that aloo into the pot, It went in hard, and in the heat, it came out mushed up. Correct? You just touch it in it, you can put your finger through it. Correct? Yes, Dad. When I put that egg in the pot, it had a hard shell. And in that hard shell, if you boil it from some time, it become... No, I get it wrong, sorry. When I put that egg in the pot, inside the shell it was mushy. And over time it became hard. It became hard. In the heat, it became hard. And the coffee, when I put that coffee in the pot and boil the hell out of it. Now it's divine coffee because I boiled the hell out of it. What happened to it? Well, no, it's smelling like coffee, nice coffee smell. Now I said, now what you learn from that? The boy looking scared now, he don't know what to say. He said, look, if you go into life hard and you face bitter situations, life will mush up your ego. If you go into life soft, then bitter situations will make you hard, like the egg. But let me tell you something else. If you go into life knowing who you are, what your own greatness is, when life, difficult, hot, bitter situations come your way, you will just share that greatness with others. You don't give up who you are. Like coffee. Coffee didn't change at all. He just spread out himself a little bit more because that situation made him share who he was. But he did not give up who he was. Like that ability not to give up the good side of you and hold it, that is called fortitude. For students, that is called consistency of purpose. I have a great goal, and no matter what situation comes, I'm going to hold on to it. And the situation is such that when it squeezes me, that holding out is what comes out. Like orange, when you squeeze orange, you get orange juice. You don't get anything bitter. When life squeezes me, because I hold on to being good, or I hold on to being honest, or I hold on to being right, the world's going to get goodness out of me, like that. But in meditation now, this person holds his mind, and he's going to reach Bhagavan. But the holding power is what has to be developed. You know, in HSS, in Shaka, they have a nice game. Everybody runs, and who can hold on to that stick the longest under all the pressure, he's the winner. And then everybody's scrambling. And you learn from that, I'm going to hold on no matter what happens. Like that. Then, what is this? We're going too slow. So many qualities. So, Shabdadin Vishayan Tyaktva. This person has all the things that we like to, Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasagandha, all the things that we like to hear, music and taste and smell and touch, what all our senses enjoy, right? While in meditation, while at your job, while you're doing your work, you keep the outside things outside. In one line, that's what that is. Because the world has all kind of nice things. Why do you get up from your desk and go to the kitchen? Tell me. Only two reasons. Something inside gurgling and pushes you away from the desk. Or something over there is calling you, a nice smell. So just bring pine tar. Oh, and that like pulls you away from it. Only these two reasons. You push from inside or pull from outside. So we're talking about the pull from outside. Outside things, you stay outside until I'm ready for you. That's called this. Renouncing all things outside. He can withdraw his mind. Then, now these we're just listing qualities. Whichever one you like, you think about it again and again. Right. Then, now, Bhagavan adds, Vairagya Samupashrita. This person takes refuge in dispassion, chooses dispassion, invokes dispassion, resorts to dispassion. When life gives difficult problems, he resorts to that type of healthy thought pattern. What is that thought pattern? I don't depend on this for my happiness. He invokes that type of thought pattern. See, and it is very true, you don't depend on anything for your happiness. You could be happy right here, right now, if you want. If you're not smiling right now, that's not because of me. That's not because of the world. That's because you're choosing to not smile. I can't make you smile, and I can't make you frown. The fact is, the key to happiness is there in your own pocket. Sometimes you would like to take it out and put it in someone else's pocket, but really speaking, finally it's in your, like, smile if you want now. Who wants to smile? Smile. If you have this capacity, you would already be smiling. What is that? This vairagya. He resorts to, I don't depend on the world for my cheerfulness. And I tell you, to get that type of quality, you have to think. Have you heard phrases like, all that glitters is not gold? Have you heard that? Or sometimes boys just say, look man, she nice from far, but she far from nice. Warning, warning. Boys just say that. And girls just say about boys. Means don't get too caught up, attracted, consumed by this thing. It has a good side, but it also has a not good side. And good or not good, I have my cheerfulness with me all the time. But you have to remember that in all situations. Gurudev Swami Chinmayananji says how this applies to meditation. The mind must be peaceful, alert, vigilant. 3 words. He would say it with such strength that you could never forget. Peaceful, alert, vigilant at all times. How you went from being cheerful all the time to alertness and vigilance, there's a bit of a jump there. See, if you want in the government, if the government wants to keep everything running well, they have to be concerned about 2 elements. There could be an attack from outside, and there can be an attack from inside. Anti-social elements, correct or not? The government has to be on alert for what's going on outside and vigilant that they don't create problems inside. And if they stop paying attention, then they fall from their state of peacefulness. Correct? Like that. Their alertness is so critical in this spiritual path. I mean, I shook my head like this, but I meant to say like this. So critical. So critical that my mind doesn't start depending and leaning on something unnecessarily. Right? There's a wonderful story. Have you heard of the Paras money? The Paras money is a wonderful stone. Anything you touch, it can turn it to gold. Philosopher's stone. Paras money. One man got a tip that it was on a beach. So he went, and there was a Mahatma sitting there who he knew that it was on the beach, but he also didn't find any motivation to go looking for it. But the man came looking for it. He found the Mahatma Ji, and he bowed and did proper prostration, and then he finally asked Mahatma Ji, is it on this beach? He said, yes, it's on the beach. What is it? It looks like a normal stone. How I will find it? When you touch it, you will find it cold. It's not like all the other stones here. It's extra cold. Oh. So the man thought, okay, he also was an accountant. So I'm going to start on one end, and I'm going to go across every stone and check one by one. I sure go find this one. So he did that. Then he had a next problem. Well, how am I going to know which ones I checked and which ones I didn't check? So he would pick it up, no, not cold, and throw it in the ocean. Like that was his, so he did that all day. Come back next day. So now you get with 2 hands. No, cold, warm, warm, warm. You're doing that all day. Warm, warm, warm. And then finally he pick it up, and he said cold. And what he did? He had everything in his own hand. Because he wasn't vigilant, gone. Critical how alertness is. So much can be said on this quality of vairagya. Just keep it in mind. Detachment is a wonderful quality, even though it sounds scary sometimes. Detachment. He's becoming more detached. She's becoming, but it's not. It just means that person is more independently happy. More people can lean on them to be cheerful when things are difficult. And you can study it more and more. So many wonderful examples are there. Vivikta Sevi, that person likes to go to a solitary place. Finally, in meditation and spirituality, you have to face yourself, basically. And so they like to go and spend time with themselves. I can tell you, comparing Canadian life and American life to life in certain parts of Guyana, you all have this quality and they don't have it. Because by force, in Wakenham where we were, in Leguan where we were, in Essequibo where we were, in the evening, you sit in the hammock and you just swing and listen to things. And you're forced thereby to spend some time with your own mind. And then you think, I won't tell that husband, but he was right. I shouldn't have done that. I mean, you have time to introspect. People who spend their whole life never giving themselves time to spend and face their own self. Sometimes what happens, and I've seen it, you might have seen it, something happens in life, and then all of a sudden they're lying there in the hospital ICU, and now after visiting hours is over in the ICU, all they hear is beep, beep, beep on the machine, and a nurse has come and a doctor has come, and they're sitting there in their own pain, and it feels like narak for them. To be alone with my own pain. I didn't practice it one day in my life, and now it is really, really hard. It happens or not? So to take time out every day, just you and Bhagavan, because you're never alone, just you and Bhagavan. 10 minutes I sit. To learn to be alone is a great, great, great quality. And finally, you will need it to face your sorrow and grow. Laghu ashi, they eat a little bit of food so that they don't end up sitting in meditation and fall asleep with too much food. Or they don't get so hungry they get distracted. Yata vak kaya manasa, and they have mastered their own body, mind and speech. In meditation you have to sit with your head, neck and spine aligned. And if you don't know how to do that, you start as an exclamation mark, and after a little while, question mark. You become a question mark, No, I mastered this body, it can sit where it needs to sit. And the speech also, it can stay quiet if it needs to stay quiet. Like that. Otherwise, the mind also wants to run into the past, or run into the future. If you sit here now, if we were to say Om, and sit now for 30 seconds, you will see how much your mind will go everywhere. Is 30 seconds up? Is the next person doing it? Did he see I just opened my eyes? Is that a mosquito itching me? Then, okay, itch. Oh no, now the right side wants an itch also. Okay, I better itch. Is 30 seconds up? How long this will last? I can't wait to tell somebody I was in Monday today and I meditate. I could tell them. And the mind run into the future, the path, like that, non-stop. But that person mastered their mind. They can channel that flow of thoughts in the healthy direction. No, this is not the time to think about who you could tell you did meditation. Now is the time to meditate, like that. That type of person, now Bhagavan adds a few more lines, we chanted already. So he told so many things about the practice and good qualities. Now he gives a list of inner qualities, unhealthy thought patterns that he drops. Unhealthy thought patterns. All disease in our life actually starts with dis-ease in our mind. So this is all those sources of sorrow. First one, and I tell you, it's a big tall order. When he gives 6 things to drop, and you realize what they are. Well, if you go to Starbucks and you say, I have a tall order, you just get a small one. So I don't know if you have to get a venti. This is a big thing we have to do now, one by one. He drops vimuchya ahankara. Ahankara means ego. Ego expresses as I did it. I did it, Self-made man. Guruji Swami Tejo Mayananda, she says, those are the most difficult to deal with. The self-made man who came from scratch and nobody taught him anything and he learned everything himself. As soon as this person starts talking like that, this person have a big ego. You really can't say anything to him. Right? So to reduce that ego, this person has to think a lot about how I didn't do it myself. And if you count properly, you did only 1%. And the world did 99%. Right? Suppose you say, I accomplished this big degree. I got this degree and I did it myself. First person in the family to do it, and so on and on. They're talking like that, right? But wait a minute. Did you use English language for it? Yeah. Did you invent English language? No. Did someone sit with you and write A is for apple, B is for bat, C is for cat, D is for Scooby-Doo, like that? So Swami Prakashananda says, D is for Scooby-Doo. No, somebody had to sit with me and force me to learn that. And if you didn't have ABC, you could get any degree. And the degree, the field that you're in, did you invent the field? No, I didn't invent the field. Did you invent all the questions? No. And if you study properly, you say, no. I got a chance to make a contribution. The world did everything. That person remembers, I'm not dispensable. I'm not indispensable. I'm not the one who does things in this world. And if I can do something, it's an opportunity. Like, they think like that. Some bhaktas, they say, Bhagavan, if it goes right, it's because of your grace. And if it goes wrong, well, that's my part. That's the only contribution I just make. I mix things up. But then they say, but it's good, because you're so perfect. If you didn't have a faulty person, a small jiva like me, you couldn't get things to go wrong. So that's my contribution. They're humble people, in other words. And balam, they give up the strength of their selfish desires. Like that. Somebody there are people who have strength in doing what is right. And they'll give up their own desires to see that thing happens. Those are rare. And those people have real strength. And then there are other people who are strong because they want something. Is it a different type of strength or not? Like you see the next generation spoiled children, they throw themselves on the ground, that the parent can't pick them up, and they all legs and hands going in all directions, and they're screaming too bad. Why? Because they want one more ice cream. And the power with which that desire is there, they make everybody bend backwards. Correct? And then that child goes into a dictator, and he doesn't want to let go of power. What he'll do to the society. Correct? So that type of power, he drops it. That type of balam. Then, now see, that seems like I'm not a dictator, so I'm safe for that. But there are some people who belong to an organization or institution or a group or a club, and they're in power. And they turn in 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, and they're not letting the next generation take up any role. Correct or not? This is this thing. I can't give up my balam. We should, all of us, as soon as possible, you hit 50, 55, 60, we should live like guests in our own home. Please plan. This beautiful house and this beautiful institution and this beautiful mandir you built, one day I will be a guest in this place. And I'm going to pass it to the next generation. If you don't enter the work like that, it'll be really hard, and it'll be either ripped away from your hands or it will destroy in front of your own hands, because the next generation is the one who's supposed to take it forward. Live as a guest in my own house? Live as a normal member in my own mandir that I built? Yes. That is actually an upgrade. It's not a downgrade. Because now you used to just be concerned with one little thing like the mandir. This is my mandir, somebody might say. Now you say, now this is my community. You take on something bigger and you let the younger generation deal with paying for the lights and fixing the roof and the drainage and flooding. They're capable of that. And you now use all your knowledge for something greater. But this is advice from scriptures. So from beginning, all next generation you plan. By time 55, whatever I built, I'll start thinking about who is the next generation who can get it. Like that. Then you'll be able to meditate very well. Darpa, arrogance, the person gives up. If you want to know if I'm arrogant, means not me, yourself. If you want to know if you're arrogant, you have to ask, am I demanding? And with who am I demanding? Because arrogance expresses as being demanding. So somebody comes to the mandir, you didn't recognize me? I deserve to be recognized. and they get upset. Even if they don't show it. If it itches the heart a little bit, it pricks the heart a little bit, you know what, that's called arrogance. I feel, I'm so great, I should be seen, I should be called. You get home and nobody says hello to you. Well, I'm the breadwinner in the house, so that's also arrogance. Why you do? Maybe that person has something going on that is bigger than you. So arrogance is very surreptitious. It comes in all krodha, always. That's what everybody knows about anger. Giving up anger. The same dad and the same boy again feature in today. The boy had an anger problem, and the dad didn't know what to do about it. And talking was not going to work. So he said, son, every time you get angry, I want you to take this bucket of nails and take this hammer and go out to that fence, and I want you to put a nail in that fence. One nail, eh? And it was really hard wood, so the boy had to get out his anger on that. Every time you get angry, and if you get angry at school, you count it and come home and you let it all out on the fence. So the boy liked that. And soon enough, he ran out of space on the fence. So on that section, he had to get a next section of fence, right? So that went on for a little while. And then slowly, the dad could observe now, okay, he only put one in today. A day went when he didn't put one. This week he only put 5. At that point, the dad said, okay, come. Now what I want you to do, every time you get angry, I want you to take out one hole from that, take out one nail from that fence. So you go there, take out a nail. And that now took more time because his anger was becoming like, because I better not get angry, I have to take out the next nail. So it was coming down. Until a long time passed, there's only one nail left. So the dad said, let you and I go out and take out this last nail together. So they did it together, and now I want you to watch this fence. So he's looking at the fence. He said, what? I've been watching this fence for months. He says, no, look again now. It looked nice? He said, no. It's full of hole. He says, yeah. Well, let me tell you something about anger. When you express it, you leave a hole in this world. You hurt somebody, you leave a pothole, you leave a dent in the car, you leave some hole somewhere. And you can't fix it again. Once it leave you, that hurtful word leave you, that slam of the door comes out, well, that's now out in the universe. You can't do anything about that. And when you get angry, you suffer. It is foolish, O son. So the son learned the lesson then. It's foolish to get angry because nothing good ever comes from it. People think when I get angry, people just listen. But they also lose respect from you, they don't like you and all that. You don't see the hole you're making in the universe. Like that. So, akrodaha, this person doesn't get angry. Aparigraha, he doesn't accumulate much. If you want to meditate, you can go and meditate with your own special Lululemon clothes and your special holy water bottle and your special seat and special meditation music, and you just walk with your whole thing. One man used to love his meditation seat so much, and the wife used to dislike it so much because everything in the house neat and nice, and that meditation seat scrappy, it is leave little string everywhere. She just wanted to get rid of it, and he just wanted to hold on to it. So one day he had to go to work for the weekend, and she cleaned the whole house. And when he come home, he see the meditation seat missing. So he suspect the wife right away because she has something out for that poor seat. So he asked, where is the meditation seat? She said, it attained nirvana. You mean it getting so much meditation, it's gone now. It won with the elements. It gone. So now, that started a whole fight. But you shouldn't have attachment to things, otherwise it disturbs meditation. Kamaha, desire. Don't sit and, if ever you have to spend some time in puja, meditating on the Lord, or in singing some bhajan about the Lord, right? If there's a desire in the mind, I will experience this, I will have this, I will enjoy that. It basically draws out all your love and attention and sends it a different direction. So you cannot have that type of thing. It projects the mind outward. So he gives up that also. Nirma, he gives up possessiveness over things. Everything is in my trust, Suppose Bhagavad Gita belongs to somebody, this little one. Well, you can think it's mine now, and I can just toss it into the bag how I want. And the edges can get a little doggy-eared, and you can write on it in pen and all that. But it might be around after you're gone. Now who will use it? No, who cares? It's mine. Let them put it there at Kashi Dham with me. Actually, everything is in our trust. You know how the mandir has a trust board of trustees? They're here just to carry this thing for a little while for the next. All things are in your trust only. How many people have come and gone? And the things remain. To think like that with no possessiveness. And that person becomes fit for meditation. Right. Now, in the last verse, that is what Bhagavan says. Oh, chanted this verse? Nah. Okay. Brahma bhuta prasannatma na shochati na kankshati samasarveshu bhuteshu madbhaktin labhate param Shri Krishna Charanam Mama Shri Krishna Charanam Mama Krishna Kanhaiya Lal Ki Jai. Brahma Bhutaha, that person who has reached the climax of meditation, developing their mind like this. Who they become, what they get. Prasannatma. They get that smile that you see on the Lord. Blissful, cheerful, serene-minded person they become. And na shochati, they don't grieve for anything. They have no reason to grieve. Na kankshati also, they don't have any desire also. Why? Because in one stroke, in seeing their oneness with the Lord, in recognizing the truth and fact that we are all one with the Lord, what happens? All their desires are fulfilled. In that one true and lasting recognition. Right? So he doesn't think anymore. I want this, then I'll be happy. I don't want that to happen, I'll be very sad. Anything happens like a fun for him. Samaha sarva bhuteshu, and he becomes same to all beings, loving to all beings. This is such an amazing quality of saints and sages. Sri Ramana Maharishi, a great saint in recent times, who lived this knowledge. You might say, who got it? So many saints and sages, and he became so famous sitting there in South India, Sri Ramana Maharishi. Once it really happened that a thief came into his kutia to steal. Now you know, in a small little room, when somebody who's not supposed to be there comes to take from you, how your heart might tremble. He was there, and with some disciples, he said, give him this lamp. He might find something he might want from this kutia, because we don't have much here in this little ashram. Give him something, he might find something. Give him a lamp, he might find something. What kind of mind you have to have? When someone comes to threaten and steal and take and destroy, you think like that. Well, if you're a thief and somebody hands you a lamp and says, see if you like something, take that. These Mahatmas are a different type altogether because they see, look at all beings as what? You're all part and parcel of the universe which I am. Like that. Then, Mad Bhaktim Labate Param. And then Bhagavan, out of nowhere, says, such a person gets supreme bhakti, love. When I say out of nowhere, I mean we were talking about meditation, knowledge, removing negative qualities, meditating on knowledge. And now in the end, what he gets? Bhakti. He gets love for the Lord. Bhagavan just glides from karma yoga means a yoga of action into a yoga of knowledge into devotion. This is not the devotion that we practice, where we try and bring our mind on the Lord. This is a devotion. Gurudev says this wonderful thing. You know, how do you measure your speed? Well, you measure your speed by kilometers per hour. How do you measure your battery power in the phone? It gives you a little percentage. Percentage of what? Milliamp hours. You have 5,000 milliamp hours. If you have 6,000 milliamp hours, you're good now. So you have some measurement. How do you measure love? Is your love for Bhagavan at 1%, 2%? Is it battery almost dead or almost charged? How do you know? What's the measure? What's the unit? So the saints and sages find nice words to explain. You know, our love for the Lord is measured in our identification with the Lord. How much we feel the Lord. See, right now the Lord is far away, maybe. And then slowly he becomes my Lord. You ever say, hey, that's my Lord over there. You might say that's my temple. That's good. But better is, that is my Bhagavan. Like this is my phone, that's my Lord. So there's a more closeness has come. Well, he and I are one. He had identified so much. You know, you see that in normal love between people also. Shri Ram crosses with Kevat. And that moment he has a thought. Oh, we don't have anything. Because he's just going now to the forest. We don't have anything to give to Kevat. That thought alone, Mother Sita recognizes that he has in his mind. She takes off her jewelry to give to Kevat. Just such closeness between them. He need not say that he feels that. Oh, we don't have anything to give. She understood and she took it off and gave. You see that sometime between husband and wife or between siblings or friends. You know what the friend is thinking over there and you smile and they smile back. That shows that kind of oneness between you, isn't it? You're identified with who they are, what they're feeling, what they're thinking. Imagine you have that identification with the Lord. That's how saints and sages live, and this is how they get there. Right. Okay, now, in the next verse, Bhagavan is going to tell, when you get that type of love for the Lord, what happens to your life? But he's not going to tell that here. He is going to tell that at Coghlan Dam Radha Krishna Mandir at 7 p.m. What happens when you get that type of bhakti? Because our time is gone. Right? So tomorrow's satsang is close by Coghlan Dam Radha Krishna Mandir. And after that, 1, 2, 3, 4 more satsangs here in West Coast. Zeelat, then Dekendran on Wednesday, Greenwich Park on Thursday, and Philadelphia Temple on Friday. So if you're in the area, you want to hear more, please come out. It is far different than watching online. When you watch online, it's like a different thing altogether. So please come out if you have the time and encourage others. And then the last night, on Saturday, next Saturday, well no, that's this Saturday now, right? This Saturday, it's happening at a cricket ground in town at 5 p.m. Which cricket ground? The Gandhi Youth Organization cricket ground on Woodland Avenue at 5 p.m. Come for 4:30, there'll be bhajans, you'll get a nice park, sit, get you a nice seat, and our Puja Swami Prakashanandaji himself is giving that last pravachan of this it's a historic thing to do Bhagavad Gita all across Guyana. And it is seeming like many of the temples will be coming. We know for a fact, coming from Essequibo, coming from Berbice, coming from quarantine. So they're coming from so far, you can come here from Vredenhoop. So come out, it's going to be a big event. and there'll be bhojan for everyone after. There'll be gifts for all the families that come out and experience the very last night of this yajna. Woolford, correction, not Woodland, Woolford Avenue. Yes. So that is one announcement. Other quick ones. Chinmaya Mission has something called a Vedanta course. And it is a wonderful opportunity for someone who wants to study the scriptures systematically as it was taught in the Gurukul system. You will study the scriptures resident at an ashram for 2 years, non-stop, and learn like 15 years of university knowledge in that time. It's an intense course. Get up at 5:30 in the morning, have class all day, finish at this time, every day. Classes all day with no breaks, no holidays, and you can't go home. Or you can go home, but you can't come back. You can leave, but you can't. You go and you dedicate yourself to this study for some time. It's quite intense. You study under, and you're lucky you'll be studying under Puja Swami Prakashananda Ji, who is sought after all over the world. He will be teaching. Most lucky anybody who goes to that course. And the purpose is what? To learn the scriptures. And afterwards, that is what qualifies you to teach in Chinmaya Mission and do this type of work and take to the path of brahmacharya and sannyas also. However, you don't necessarily have to do that. You can go back to your normal life also. But it prepares one for this type of path for somebody who's interested in it. If you're under 30 and under, unmarried, and have a university degree, you're qualified to go to that course. And obviously you have to be interested to put that type of effort in. Right? And then the course is a scholarship course. It doesn't have cost. Anybody who's interested, you please check it out online. It's a simple form you have to fill out for the interview. And you may not be interested, but you might know somebody in the community who is not here tonight who might be interested. So you please spread the word. It's called a Vedanta course. And it starts just now in October. And it runs for 2 years. And it's in Trinidad. You used to have to go to Mumbai to study this. But now, luckily, this course has run. This is the third time in the past, I think, 15 years they're running this 2-year course. Right here in Guyana, though, if you can't go for that course, there are so many different classes going on. If you're interested in learning to do Pandit work, you're interested to do puja properly and chant all the mantras properly, especially, Chinmaya Mission is offering a 6-month course online. A free course also, but limited spots because of the online format. You can learn to chant properly and do puja and all of that. Just check out the Facebook page. If you would like to try a dosa is a thin pancake made of rice and urdi dal. And you spread that on a tawa and it gets crispy and it's savory, and then inside they put aloo or they put paneer or they put pizza, cheese and all that, and you fold it and it's delicious. And a dosa day fundraiser is happening at the ashram on May 4th. So that's next Sunday, or this Sunday you'll say, at the ashram in Monrepo on the other side. So please come check out the ashram and have a dosa. It's a fundraiser Swamiji himself will be making. You can order a dosa early so you don't have to wait in line. Otherwise there's always a line. Come out and try a dosa. Delicious, healthy, and everybody all over the world is eating it in hundreds of millions. So you can come taste an authentic dosa made by the hands of Swamiji himself on Sunday. Right. So those are the major announcements. There will be some books at the back on all different topics in Hinduism. Authentic knowledge for children and up. So please check it out. If you're interested, you can purchase a book. Now we'll have Aarti, and then I'll pass it back for closing announcements.
Bhagavad Gita Maya Jai Bhagavad Gita Hari Hiya Kamala Viharini Hari Hiya Kamala Viharini Sukuni Om Jai Bhagavad Gita Karma Suma भक्तिविदायिनी निर्मलमलहारी शरणरहस्यप्रदायिनी सर्वविधि सुखदायिनी रागद्वेषविदारिणी कारिणी मूक सदा भवभयहारिणी तारिणी आसुरभावविनाशिनी नाशिनी समरजनी दैवी सगुणदायिनी हरिरसिका सजनी समता त्याग सिखावनी हरिमुख की वाणी सकल शास्त्र की स्वामी युक्तियों की रानी दया सुधा बरसावनी मातु कृपा की जय हरि पद प्रेम दान कर अपनों कर ली जय जय भगवती जय भगवती मंगलम भगवान विष्णु मंगलम गरुडध्वजः मंगलम पुंडरीकाक्षं मंगलायतनो हरिः त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की श्री सत्य सनातन धर्म की श्री कृष्ण कन्हैया लाल की हर हर नमः पार्वती पतये हर हर महादेव ओम तत्सत।